Hey, world. It's being able to come back with another video. Fam, this February the 24th, I think. Got maybe 4 or 5 days left of so-called Black History Month. Now, I want to give you my analysis of Black History Month, how disingenuous it is, and how, year after year, decade after decade, this whole notion of Black History Month, to me, for anybody that's conscious, for anybody that's not cognitively dissonant, that can open their eyes, especially their third eye, and realize, there's something called justice, and there's something called virtue. And individuals that live their lives, you know, virtuously, live their lives respectfully. Because remember, we all have a shadow. Every one of us are capable of doing the most heinous things. And if you think you don't, then you're still in a slumber. You dig? The first thing to self-realization and enlightenment is understanding the true nature of who you are. You walking around with a mask on your face, pretending to be this persona, because that's all it is. You think, where do you think they got the word person from? Because it's a persona. It's not who you really are. That's what you project to the outside world based on social norms, based on expectations, based on, you wanting to be accepted. And so you act accordingly to those particular norms. But that's not who you really are. You can lie to yourself, okay? You can lie to other people, but you can't lie to the Most High. And the Most High is inside of you, which is your lower consciousness, which is your higher consciousness, not lower. The lower consciousness is your persona, your ego. And so when I'm here and I'm thinking about Black History Month, it's just so disingenuous when, we're supposed to be inundated with all of these reminders of what happened in Auschwitz, during World War II. And I think it's so disingenuous when you just want to say Hitler. It was Germany. He had hundreds of thousands of supporters. So I hate that they want to put everything on Hitler opposed to the country itself, the people themselves. One person did not have all these masses of people commit this type of atrocities. No, those atrocities was already inside of those individuals. That's why it wasn't every German, every person over there that pretty much co-signed for that type of treatment to the Jews. But when you look at it over here in America, Black History Month is a joke. When you know about the atrocities that happened over here in America, i.e. Rosewood, what happened in Rosewood, Florida, what happened in Natchez, Mississippi, what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma. See, in these three incidents, there should be like common knowledge to Afro-melanated people as a constant reminder. When you look at our plight in America, when you look at individuals like Jesse Jackson and the Afro-melanated congressmen and politicians, that tells you that they, even they suppressing the real history. Because now it takes the responsibility of those that committed the crimes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, family, my Black History Month isn't Martin Luther King Jr., Benjamin Banneker, who else they say, W.B. Du Bois, Frederick Douglass, the usual suspects. But what about the history of atrocities? When in Rosewood, Florida, the whole town, the whole neighborhood of Afro-melanated people was burned down. The white people, and I say white, and let me preface it by saying so-called white, went to Rosewood, Florida in 1923, and they burned down and destroyed all the Afro-melanated people's homes because of a rape allegation. A white lady said she was raped, and they couldn't find the suspect, so they burned down every home in Rosewood. Now, currently, Florida has prepared to pay, I think they have already paid $2 million in restitution or reparations to the descendants of those families. $2 million. Wow. And then you go to Natchez, Mississippi, what they call the Mississippi Punch Bowl, Well, directly after the Civil War, and some of my family members, if you're in school right now, you're studying the Civil War. I promise you, they never mentioned after the Civil War what happened in Natchez, Mississippi, what they call the Mississippi Punch Bowl. And why they call it a Punch Bowl? Because it was thousands of freed, quote-unquote, slaves that was pent up in some type of barrier compound and left out there to die. Not by the Confederate soldiers, the Union soldiers. Okay? So that means that's a government atrocity. So it should be a lot more reparations going on that. Okay? Move forward to 1921, Tulsa, Oklahoma. One of the most thriving economic Afro-melanated communities in America. Tulsa, Oklahoma. They called it Black Wall Street. Once again, conflict arose. So-called whites go in there and destroy the whole infrastructure. We're talking banks, oil wells, schools, libraries, hospitals. See, that's the real black history. And for you not to know just these three particular events, I'm not even talking about the whole notion that they perpetuate with slavery and the whole notion that in the U.S. Constitution, it still refers to individuals as 3/5 human. In the records of most of the deeds, of the monuments, of the buildings, a lot of these homes in most affluent neighborhoods, if you look at the deeds didn't even say these homes or locations or land should never, ever be sold to a black person. Do your research, family. In the meantime, between time, may the Most High inside to bring you joy and being with his Audi 5000.